Peace. All right, here it is. A little short video. You can see the patch on the left of the screen there. I've been tweaking this thing, trying to figure out what I was doing wrong with my initial patch. It was good, but it just wasn't close enough. So what I wound up doing was I went to the clean amp sim and with the turbo distortion, and I literally dropped everything down to halfway on the sim on the amp sim. Okay, so there's no definition of EQ from the amp itself. What I did was I altered the EQ on the turbo distortion, and I altered the EQ on the actual EQ bank. I'm using the EQ to lift those mids up a little bit. Now, what I had done that initially, but I had too much low end, right? So I dropped the bass down to 40, the middle is 75, and the high treble is at 60. And I think this is pretty much it, but you be the judge, okay? I tried it with every guitar I had in the house, and the only one that even got close was the Les Paul. So, if you want that Boston sound, you pretty much have to have a Les Paul to get it. I'm sorry. I've done everything that I can do, and it's just the Les Paul pickups are just unique. They give such a unique sound, a very unique sound. So here are a couple of riffs that you'll recognize, and when I did these, I realized I finally had it. That's it right there. I'm telling you, that's as close as I've gotten without using an actual Rockman. Okay, that's the rhythm tones. Okay, those are the rhythm tones. You look over at the editor screen, you'll see that it's set up for for the rhythm, the distorted rhythm guitar parts. And Scholz had what a lot of people would consider to be an excess of distortion, but it worked. It was a totally unique sound, and he dropped the lows and accentuated the mids, which up to that point nobody really had been doing. That's why it was so unique. Now, here's a couple of lead tones, right? And I've got the reverb and the delay on the ME80. Ordinarily, I wouldn't, but I wanted to kind of go for an old school 70s sound. So I went with an analog delay and a spring reverb, the old spring reverb sound. So here's a couple of lead tones that I think also, man, when I did the first one, I realized this is it. This is the sound I was looking for. Oh, that's it right there, right? Now, that's the distorted stuff, all right? So let's turn the distortion off, and we'll take a look at the clean stuff. For that, we're going to turn on the harmonist. Again, I'm just not crazy about chorus. It kind of gives it a rather, you know my feelings about that. But again, the Les Paul has a rather unique sound. I'm using the neck pickup for this. Okay, I'm using the neck pickup. So. That's pretty good right there. Okay, that's going to get you a lot closer with the ME80, I think, than we're actually going to get without a Rockman. Without a Rockman, you're just not going to get that unique chorus sound that it had, the unique reverb and combination of reverb and delay. Um, these were all, none of this was digital stuff. This was all analog stuff he was using in the 70s and 76. There was nothing digital out yet, really. Nothing you could afford anyway. So he just built his own stuff. But again, that distorted sound, I'm going to turn the harmonist off for the distortion stuff. No compressor. The compressor, I found, I added it at first, and I found that it didn't really, all it did was just add more gain, a little extra clipping that I didn't want. I thought the distortion was going to do just fine for that. Slightly out of tune, the Les Paul slightly out of tune. I put new strings on it the other day, and they still have not stretched out completely. So that's it. Just a quick hit on what to do, or at least how to get the Boston patch. If you can see it, I'll post it in the comments as usual when it's done. But you can see it pretty well right there. You can see the patch pretty well. Okay, there you go. Enjoy.